Oh, that was instantaneous. Off week has concluded. We return once more for the ARC Touring Car Cup Championship. I keep forgetting the full name of the event. You'd think I'd know it. I literally named the broadcast. ATCC, as, you know, I know that it's called, heads to a track I've only ever really seen in, like, weekly challenges on here. We are here at Sardegna Road C. This track just looks like a finger pointing upward, and it has no thumb. Maybe that's just me. It probably is. If I talk slightly less than usual, it's because I'm dealing with a very weird, dull pain in my, like, lungs and esophagus area. I think it's swelling up down there. It sucks to... Swallowing and talking have become difficult, but I am existing through the inconvenience to bring the action this evening. I need to close my door. 1 second. I have closed my door. Qualifying has just begun the second that I started up the stream, and it looks like Robichaud is going to be the first driver to make his way onto the timesheets in about 50-something seconds anyway. I believe we are only sending a single car home tonight. That's the sand. So, all told, I think it's going to mostly be between Hannock, Panic, Voiles, and Cool to fight to make it to not last. I words good right there. See, Robichaud is just one hairpin away from making the first complete lap of the session. I literally have never even driven on this track before outside of weekly challenges, as I said, so I can't exactly give a detailed breakdown of the circuit like I would with most others. A 58.2 is the first time on the board, 58.4 for Allen, a 58.4 as well for Altman, only a 100th apart or so between them. Knickel only in the 58.7s, Logan Cool getting a cool toe off of the back of the Genesis to get a 59 flat. We're aiming for 58s for being competitive, but I think a 59 will probably be enough to get you into the race. If we only have to beat one car, to my knowledge. Max to calling this slow and just off the racing line. He is just at a 59.8. Nope, that's an 8.8. I can read perfectly, I swear. So Frenchie's initial offering has still withstood an entire set of lap times. And we'll see if he finds an improvement. He jumps to a 57.8. My word. Jackson Altman next to respond, nowhere near that. And nor is Luke Allen, he didn't find an improvement either. AJ Knickel finds a 58 flat to join his teammate provisionally on the front row. Darius in the Mustang swinging the back end around the final turn, wrestling with all of that horsepower. As wildcard's only, at least his only representative here in this lobby. No improvement. Hannock finds a 59.1. Van Wee has yet to run a valid time. And his own teammate is going to be directly in the way, which will not help things at all for Preston's case. The slowest completed lap is the school bus-designed Mustang of Kyle Voiles. And missing the final hairpin will not improve his lap time any. Connor Hannock, who did not have the time to find a livery for his Mitsubishi, is literally just running the basic car. He has a week grace period, but he is going to have to fix that for future rounds if he is to continue participating. Well, that's a camera shot and a half for Kevin Kepley heading down the hill. carrying a boatload of momentum. Hanek finds another 10th. Still doesn't get above Logan Cool, though, who himself is currently just idling in the pit lane. Perhaps he is confident his time is sufficient, or perhaps some complication arise on his end, like a distraction or who knows what. It could be anything, just about. Final hairpin. Preston a little bit cautious on the brakes on the way in. Points and shoots the car out. Genesis obviously going to have plenty of traction on the way out, and that is going to be a 58.555. Followed immediately by his teammate running a 58.666. You can't make that up. So up to this point I was correct. It is between Cool, Hanek, and Voiles to attempt to stay out of last. No improvement from the British driver. Logan Cool back on the racetrack on an outlap. Voiles only about halfway through his lap at the moment. Oh, this is an outlap. That's an outlap. Who's not on an outlap? Everybody is on an outlap. Darius has absolutely had a tank slapper, and he has found the outside wall. And he'll just spin out of AJ and Logan's way. Logan, who has once again hooked up with the back of Knickel's machine to obtain some slipstream assistance, if he can stay there for long enough. I think they're working together. AJ backed off there on the way into the hairpin. Part of that I know was to get a good exit out, but I think he might have also just decided to try and help Cool, which is interesting. I'm not complaining as the team owner of that Subaru, but also just kind of surprising that it's AJ. Wow. Preston Van Wee is the second driver to reach the 57s, a 57.992. Porsche, unexpected Porsche involved in that lap time there. Oh, they both have an off-track moment. A bunch of lemmings are Knickel and Cool. Kyle Voiles missing the final hairpin. Oh, I think I know why he's helping an NFR car. At least I think. Maybe there's just nothing to it. Maybe it's just a coincidence, and I'm just reading too much into it. Robichaud exiting the pits for his final time. It's on to basically any other Genesis, pretty much, to try and make that up. Jackson Altman is also rather close. He has a 58.1. These two will try again. A 58.3, Darius improves to find. No, finds to improve. Luke Allen sitting 5th on the board at the moment. Considering he didn't seem to have a whole lot of confidence in the practice session earlier. A 58.1 on the board for him. We'll put him over Darius, I believe. He might have already been over, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, he stays 5th. No improvement for Altman, and improvement for Ox to Colonist to a 58.45. Knickel has backed out of this lap, presumably having hit something as his front end has massive damage. And that leaves Logan Cool on his own, with his own even worse damage, which will eventually go away in a few moments. The final minute of the session, some drivers will soon be undertaking their final run up the circuit. If they aren't already due to fuel limitations or tire wear. Alright, final laps of the session. I think Luke Allen is going to be the first driver to complete his session here. AJ will get another shot after this. That's a 58.1 for Kevin Kepley. Carrying the torch for the Mitsubishis, all three of them on the track today. Suddenly jumping over his team owner with that lap. Van Wee is not going to have enough time to get back around. That is the end of his session. I'm not sure why he's pit. Robichaud will take one more crack at it. Knickel off the last turn. Let's see if this is an improvement to get himself alongside his teammate. No. Next across will be Luke Allen, passing the pit lane up to 4th gear, across the line. 58-1, a small improvement, but no positions will be obtained. I have lost track of the cars near them. That is a bit of a train that Kyle Wheels is leading down the front straightaway. Might be a last-second tow for Robichaud and Maher. Frenchie ups the ante to a 57-7. The last contestant is his own team owner, AJ Knickel, off the final turn. Full throttle down to the start-finish line, but that is not an improvement at all. How is Logan Cool going? The game says he's on a final lap, but he's late. He still has control of his car. Hello, GT7? And so with the only... Oh, he got a sub-minute, but he is 6/10 removed from everybody else. Kyle Voiles, I think, is once again doomed to make an exit. Doomed to make an exit here in the qualifying for Sardegna for rounds 9 and 10. Logan Cool is still continuing on. Having swatted a couple of cars out of the way who were doing the speed limit just about. This game does not cease to amaze me, I tell you that. Every week is a new surprise, be it, and it takes all forms. Hey, why isn't the session done yet? There we go. So unless somebody in Red One's secondary lobby has had a generational failure, I think Kyle Voiles is the unlucky contestant today. Okay, yeah, it's Kyle. Their slowest was a 58.6 in the lobby, and that was Robbie, who's in pretty safely. He's ahead of 2 other cars, so... Yes, Arc Socials, I know that DIVEBOMB AutoRacingConnected is live. I am the one who started the stream. Thank you, bro. Logan made the show. I need to not enter the track. That is force of habit. I am not driving. Yeah, how would that work? Commentary, but also from the point of view of a person actively partaking in the race. So just give it a handful of minutes to set the grid. Gives me time to grab a drink and try and soothe the swelling that is happening within my airwaves. It's not asthma attack, because it's more like a muscular pain, like it's actually swelling up, not congested. I would know if it's congested. That happens like every other day, if not more often than that. It's just like a muscle down there, and like part of the mechanism that allows you to swallow that is just not wanting to do its job today. Alright, that's presumably the starting grid. Don't click exit, you absolute moron. Just click spectate like you always do. Do that. Suddenly appearing Subaru and AJ Nichols' rearview mirror there. Now I take a drink and get ready to read off the official starting grid. I probably should have waited to mute my mic after I cleared my throat. That's, well, I mean, if you wanted complete professionalism, you're watching the wrong broadcast. I'll tell you that right now. I try to take things as seriously as I can, but I can only do so much. I'm sitting here commentating a Gran Turismo 7 League with a controller next to me, and plugged into it is a pair of earbuds I bought for $6 at a dollar store. I'm kind of limited in my ability to be completely professional, especially as somebody who has only had minimal voice training several years ago, has consistent asthma problems, and a sleep schedule that can only be defined as harebrained. Whether that really comes into play too much when the races start at 7 my time, PM. But I've missed one or two due to not sleeping properly. I missed Watkins Glen and AEC for that exact reason, and I was rather embarrassed about it, even though nobody really made much of a point about it other than me. Okay. False alarm. Goodness. Don't click the red button. Just don't even put your hand on the controller, me. Okay, I assume that was the final starting grid. And now we wait. Sit back up in my chair. Here we go. It begins. This countdown is a lie. Let's see here. So, The pole sitter is not you, it is Ridwan. It is a 1-2-3 for FR Racing, and I wish I could pretend I was surprised. I think Jonas was actually second, then Yoshi. Then Stefan Robichaud, then Preston Van Wee, AJ Knickel, Kevin Kepley, Jackson Altman, Darius in the Mustang, AJ Oxtacolnis. Actually, I think this is completely wrong. Have you guys ever heard of how a formation lap is supposed to work? Holy cow. Pat Maher, Ravi Ganesh, Logan Cool makes a race, and Connor Hannock in the default Mitsubishi Evo Group 4 will round out the grid. At least that makes a little more sense than saying the 671 car like I had to do. Very impressed, actually. Well, okay, I know he hasn't out-qualified Knickel, just the formation lap nonsense, but Van Wee continues to impress me in this season. He's been able to keep up with his, I guess, Alliance seniors at Vision 47 relatively consistently. He just hasn't been able to put together a full race. And when Ridwan decides to give it the beans, we will be green from Sardegna. Here we go. Never mind. I saw him rev the engine. Now we're green. And, yep, that would have been a jump start in 1,000 from your boy. He is well clear. His teammates are not well clear. Too wide. That is a diving Mitsubishi. Luke Allen's lucky not to find the side of another car with that. Two Vision 47 cars, too wide. That will settle out, though, with Robichaud ahead. That is close. This camera work is way too dynamic. It's almost a little disorienting in terms of trying to understand what's going on. No, they're going to go too wide again. I think Robichaud may have missed that left-hander, giving AJ a shot to take the spot away. No crossover attack. The Genesis sits on the exit and prevents any exit. That is a cluster right there. Logan Cool vying for traction more than vying for position, despite being in a four-wheel drive Impreza. Oxtacolnis has not had the lap one he was looking for. The two teammates continue to battle for P4, and there's Yoshi in the sand. Jackson Altman's gonna find the back of him as he understeers himself. That'll demote Yoshi down many places with that error. Yeah, it's the front wheel drive understeer. He probably just got on the throttle a little too quickly and the car did not like it. That's pretty easy to do in a Scirocco or any front wheel drive car. Oh, Darius had an even worse start. He's down to last now after spinning at some point where I didn't have the camera looking. They continue to battle for third now. Robichaud's going to have a toe off the back of Jonas, and that's going to allow him to pull back into third. And possibly, maybe, probably not, because the Volkswagen's crazy on a straight, take a shot at the Finnish driver on the way down to turn 1. He's close enough if he desires, but he elects to not attack. Still, like, over 15 laps to go here. Apply pressure and maybe force Jonas to make an error, although that may be a fool's errand and a half. Altman getting ahead of... No, he's defending from Van Wee, I think. I don't know. Either way, they're fighting. Jackson's in the sand and nearly slides back across the track into Kepley as he is out of control from the sand. Passed by Yoshi as well. And he blinks his lights, probably a little annoyed because he believes that Van Wee forced him off, but the broadcast cameras show that there was about an F-type's width there, so I'm not sure. I think he ran himself out of space. And Van Wee fends off the attack from Kevin Kepley to remain in P6. Now AJ is the lead Genesis. Not sure when he got ahead of his teammate, but it was probably just due to him making an attempt at, oh, that's the change AJ mentioned to the livery. Huh. I never even noticed there was nothing up there until AJ put something there. I know he had to edit his livery because the 47 number he was using just disappeared and he had to replace it. Dramatic camera zoom. No. Yoshi is about to knock that man's diffuser off if he's any closer. And see how he goes about it. There are a couple ways to attack this hairpin by the looks of things. Bumping Kevin into the hairpin is not the one I would normally pick, personally. But no real damage done or anything. No harm, no foul. At a track with only one relatively long straightaway, the Scirocco's are not able to gain the same kind of advantages that they were at other previous tracks we've been to, like the Red Bull Ring or the Nordschleife. You kind of have a decently long run down towards the hairpin, but it's nothing special. You're only going to get about 130 miles an hour out of any car here. Maybe 134, 135, you really trim the thing. And I guess we're about to see them get up to that with slipstream assistance off the Volkswagen here. The tires are squealing in pain. There's a slight bumper to the back of the 46, but that's going to be rather ineffectual. Van Wee leads a relatively large train of cars across the start-finish line. He's got basically 3 vehicles near him, 2 directly on his bumper. They're going to fight for position, as a matter of fact. Yoshi down the inside of the Evo. And that is simple. That is an incredibly sideways something or other back here. Oh, that is a spinning Oxtaconis. Not sure if that was... Oh, that was definitely for cause. Look at his... Now, both of his bumpers are messed up. I'm not sure what part of the car he hit the wall with, but something had to hit him to get damage on both ends. I think he may have just gotten a maneuver from the Milwaukee-sponsored Mustang there. Battling to the hairpin, AJ sees his opportunity to try and get into P2. He's alongside. He's got the slight advantage on Eunice, but straight line speed will come into play in the near future. So this duel will probably continue down to turn 1, and probably a little ways after as well. Yeah, there goes the Scirocco, able to inch ahead, later braking from the Canadian driver, plus the inside lane. The move is confirmed by the 47 machine, but it's not complete, so to speak. Eunice is obviously still right there. There's plenty of braking zone on this track. That's not quite alongside for the Volkswagen. He's forced to retreat for the moment, I suppose. Probably because he knows if he tries too many maneuvers on Knickel, that's going to leave him vulnerable to the other Canadian directly in his wheel tracks. Altman's having to try and take the long way around on the outside of a 4-wheel drive car, which goes about as well as you could hope. Not very. Somehow Darius has ended up back in last, even behind Oxtaconis, whom just got sent for a ride a handful of minutes ago. I can't be sure if he was the cause, but I do know he went for a ride, as a matter of fact. That much is clear. Breaching the halfway mark of this event, of the first half anyway. I think it's B, or like road B after this. So the middle ground in terms of length, that kind of is shaped like a weird, like Estoril's like estranged cousin or something. Or little bits of Portimao and Catalunya, Barcelona in there too, for good measure. It looks like a Tilkedrome, is my point. But it isn't, because it's designed by Polyphony. Whether that's an improvement or downgrade, that's up to your discretion. I say it's downgrade, though, because I don't really like that track. I don't really like the Sardegna road layouts in general, though. That's just me. Bit of a scruffy exit, but I think AJ will be able to survive for the moment. Eunice could not physically be any closer to the back of that car. Oh, that's a little too much asking for the Genesis. That's going to be an opportunity and a half for Eunice. If he can capitalize on it, he has to get alongside, but trying to do so is costing him momentum down the hill. and AJ will be able to hold on to the spot by simply driving in a straight line. Although he has just missed the hairpin a little bit, perhaps expecting more aggression from Eunice, and still losing out even though it wasn't received, but it's not going to ultimately matter that much just yet. As they continue to fight, they're not really losing much time to 5th place Luke Allen. Probably because Luke Allen has bigger fish to fry. He's got to try and deal with the one Boar Yoshi filling his mirrors. At least the 3rd quickest driver here just kind of settled at the bottom because of a excursion in the sand on like lap 2. Looking inside on the Evo, and that is the preferred lane. There's not much you can do about that on the outside of that turn, and now Yoshi can pursue the Genesis Volkswagen 2 versus 2, even though it's more like a 2 versus 1, because Ridwan is just waltzing off into the distance at the moment. Could be a shot for Robichaud. Will go on board with the Canadian driver as he attempts to at least stay close enough to the Scirocco to look at attacking, but he's gonna have no such luck. There are plenty of places to attack, though. Ambush tactics can be employed if you want, although Robichaud doesn't necessarily seem like the type. It is a very good, fast left-hander for him, though. Oh, but he's headed off at the pass. He couldn't get the steering wheel over far enough to make it alongside, or he just chose not to. One or the other. And now you gotta watch that gap. The longer these three stay like this, it's gonna help Yoshi get back up here and provide some support for his Finnish teammate. All the while, Ridwan is literally having the time of his life up here. He is unaffected by anything else that is going on. 4.5 second lead, basically. Luke Allen now under threat from Van Wee in the Genesis. Zoom the camera in real quick. Preston's forced to try the long way around. It will not work. That's the end of the comment there. It will not work. I don't know why I was acting like I had more to say. Oh, but that is a big hit on the protruding tire barrier. It's going to do some big damage to Luke Allen's car. The understeer caught him at a very bad time. He's being doored by his own teammate, who will fall back in behind. No damage to the machine of Preston Van Wee, however, so only affects the 7 car in that instant. He's still continuing to battle for not last. I don't think Darius is particularly aggressive with it, though. Although I don't know, maybe he's just taken it and lost it multiple times over. There's a lot of just kind of battles and cars near each other all over the track now. We've got Altman, who's caught up to the duo of CL7 after that mishap from Luke Allen. Hanek trying to run from Pat Maher and Ravi Ganesh. Max calling us on an Iowan. Logan Cool and Darius fighting to not be last. And the Subaru's kind of taken off at the moment. I imagine probably a lack of traction from the Mustang has hurt his exit, or something or other. And they might just get lapped here, you know. Red One's crossing the line. These two are fighting their way through turns 2 and 3. Here goes Robichaud. He's getting some slipstream from his team owner. So he's got that helping to compensate for the Scirocco's better straight line performance, but he cannot get the preferred line into 1, so he will have to wait a little while longer, but who knows how much longer he can wait or will wait. Instead, Eunice is turning into an attack, going after the other Canadian driver, and is not successful. Dramatic camera angle that lasts for like 4 seconds. Oh, contact with the back of the 47. I almost said Volkswagen. No, it's the front of it. Forcing him the long way around. Not going to get him anywhere. decent exit, that can be enough to convert with the Scirocco straight line speed. Oh yeah, it 100% will be. And flick the steering left. AJ with the very late move to the inside to cover that off. Eunice tries to brake super late around the outside. He's got the inside for this little kink. Now it's the outside again, and it's going to be the outside once more at turn 4. They're still nearly banging doors. This is not a corner you want to go too wide in, though. And Eunice is forced to concede and once again be under threat from Robichaud, just as we were a couple of laps ago. Absolute chaos. Altman is sticking his nose down the inside of Kepley, both of whom have overtaken Luke Allen as we were looking at the battle for second slash third slash fourth. Altman and a CL7 sandwich. But somebody tells me he likes his odds. It's going to send the Mitsubishi a little wide, but it's not going to hurt him too much. I can't look away from this, though. This is a higher position. AJ Kinnickle down the inside. Back past Eunice Itkonen. Defense. Just a lot of it. Yoshi now only about 2.5 seconds away, but I don't think he's closing rapidly enough to be a part of the battle before we see the checkered flag. Eunice once again tried the outside at turn 4. That's just not going to work at a corner like that, though. Nose to tail to nose. Hairpin for the third from last time. Everybody is taking completely different and kind of wrong ways through this hairpin. And it still doesn't seem to change much. Kinnickle finally has breathing room after that excursion. But Robichaud doesn't have a play, as he did not get the run that he needed to contest the 41. 46. This is the 41. Altman has been defeated by the other Evo. Luke Allen's gotten back by. Not the best section of 1, 2, and 3 for Kinnickle. The Volkswagen is right back there on his heels. Under 2/10, soon to be under 1/10 by the looks of things. It's hard to really get a different line on somebody there. That S section is one lane and flat, completely out. And Eunice is going to try the long way round once more. Oh, he's going to barge his way by. Touring car maneuvers in play for Eunice Itkonen, but it's still not going to matter. The Genesis holds strong, and here comes the other Genesis. AJ is going to help try and pull his teammate ahead of the Finnish driver. Eunice will cut that off. Are we almost 3 wide? Eunice is trying to turn that into a dive bomb. Crossover attack from Robichaud. They make contact now. Oh boy, oh boy. Robichaud is going to buy himself a lane on the racetrack with a little bit of argy-bargy there. Forcing his will down the inside. He's going to shove Eunice into the sand. He's still staying too wide with him, though, despite getting a bit of sand in his shoes. And he's going to pull back ahead into third. Ridwan will head out of the final hairpin. It hardly ever looked in doubt the second he got off the line. And so that is a victory for him. Huge send from Eunice, and that's not going to work. So that'll now be a 2-3 for Vision 47. That was really asking for a lot there. AJ Kinnickle P2, Robichaud P3. Yoshi will come back to 4th following his teammate's mishap, and Preston Van Wee P6. Drag race between the CL7 cars. I think Kepley's going to have that in hand, though. Altman 9th. Hannick will hang on to 10th over Pat Maher. And it is going to be Logan Cool bringing up the rear with the right front that's seen better days. Oh, that's not the line I would take. At least they got into the race. There's that to take away from everything. Oh boy. I hate to tell you this, like, throat, voice, vocal cords. We're only halfway done here. That's the first race. We have a second one to do. The longer tracks tend to be a little more boring, though, so there is that to keep in mind, but that's not saying a whole lot. It's a high bar to clear. I need, like, an entire glass. Not one drink right now after that. Show of hands, who thinks NFR's next car should be a Powerade sponsored machine? Really bold call from Voiles to try and start trash talk when you DQ. Or DNQ, I should say. DQ is Dairy Queen. DSQ is disqualified. DNQ is you tried and failed to qualify. Ugh. I'm getting old. Yeah, as if the weird esophagus pain isn't enough. My jaw's starting to hurt. On jaw. I just like kind of moved it around a little bit and I feel like it just snapped into place or out of place. These quarter-century-old bones are trying to snap into pieces. Soon enough, I'll be making rattling noises, carrying a bow, and spawning in caves. Just using the intermission. You got that, Luke? No, you don't. You're in the sand. You are spinning. What is... okay. We are just going to look away and pretend that it is not happening. Oh, here we go. And the random grid has given us a 1-2 for vision, and then a 3-4-5 for, I think, no, yes, for, FR, and then Van V 6th, Itkonen's, Luke Allen, then Kevin Kepley. I don't remember if it's the top 6 or top 8 that switch around, I don't remember anymore. Looks a little Noah's Arkian in a sense. I'm sort of surprised that Altman is the only car, the only Jaguar we see on the grid today. No sign of Heredia or Jurgens. This is a much longer formation lap. The track apparently isn't that much longer. We're doing 16 green flag laps as opposed to 18 from the other race. It's not an ARC weekend unless I've randomly yawned for no reason. I'm having a mental breakdown. There we go. Okay, so it actually put Van Wee ahead of Itkonen. I couldn't really tell because of where they were on the formation map. I should probably get off this camera now. I thought it would look neat, but it's just not realistic. If I want to do that, I got this or this to use. And AJ Finley holding 47 miles an hour. We are away. And AJ is going to get plenty clear. That was a shot of all the cars right there. Ridwan's going to be in tow. He's going to out-drag Robichaud easily down to T1. His teammates will fight for fourth behind. And actually, Yoshi even kind of gets into the back of Robichaud there, but not really much enough to be an issue. Connor Hannick is getting aggressive. He's got a real good start. I think he started 10th. He's trying to get up to 7th over Van Wee. Oh, right, yeah, this is a corner now. We do not go straight on. Edkunen's already picked up a penalty. I didn't see many time penalties in the last race. I guess it's kind of difficult to cut there, huh? A panoramic helicopter shot of every single vehicle competing in the race right there. Everybody looking pretty behaved. Hanek down the inside of Altman, gonna shove him into the sand. Not gonna be a good thing to do there. I'm sure the actual 11 car will. I think he's the 11, isn't he? No, 21. I saw there's a 1 anyway. And that's gonna hurt for Eunice. It's gonna lose him multiple places because the pack is still pretty bunched together. Van Wee will get by. Kepley might also be passed. Yeah, easily. A duel between Genesises right there for 11th. Maher versus Oxtacolnis. They make slight contact. They make more slight contact. Looks like the 3. No, that's a good run on the way out for the 8. But he's got the worst line, so I think the victory might... No, he's going to get ahead. Around the outside goes Pat Maher. Van Wee continuing to... Well, he's not holding anybody up right now, but he's definitely just... He's always very much surrounded by many cars, all looking to go past. But he's proving to be very difficult to get ahead of today. Speaking of get ahead, this is a very familiar sight, isn't it? Red Volkswagens versus dark blue Genesis, if you will. Oh, Ridwan really messed that up. Poor Yoshi's going to get ahead of him there, and he's going to try and look for the race lead heading down towards the last turn of lap 3. And he's going to get it. Is there a switchback from the 47? Yes, but it's covered off. Oh, this is an absolute pack race. They're all under a blanket. Quarter of a second between 4 cars. What in the Daytona is going on here? And the Scirocco's are going to easily get ahead there. Under the brakes, the Genesis are more brave, but it doesn't matter. They will, however, surround Yoshi on exit, and Kaneko will box the 41 car out to get back to... Nope, that's Robichaud will box him out to get back to second. No, up to. He was never there, Riker. Well, he was there at the start. And that's about it. Bit of grass kicked up by the 06 car as he attempts to pursue Ridwan, who really isn't that far away. I think pursue is a bit too exaggerative of language there. Oh, there's another Genesis joining the battle. Van Wee is there. And if this battle rages on a whole lot longer, we may see an Evo and the 3rd Scirocco join the fray as well. Everything is getting congested. Kevin Kepley is getting some sand in his tires. Understeer from Logan. What a time to check in on him. Robbie Ganesh has not had a start to remember whatsoever. Red One will have no slipstream advantage. He may not need it too much in that car, but it's still worth pointing out. Especially when he has a half a second advantage going on to the straightaway. The real threat suddenly is actually Preston Van Wee. He's looking poised to swipe some places as Yoshi and Kaneko fight for 3rd. Kaneko running to the sand. And there goes Van Wee. The 3 car is going to try and sweep ahead of AJ Kaneko. You will not be able to do it, though. You can hang around the outside there at this version of turn 4. Somebody was very sideways there. Kaneko is still sitting on that half second, though, which means that even if Van Wee doesn't get by him on this lap, he's going to get by him as they cross the start line at the start-finish line. Enunciate me. That's a nice personal best sector there. It'd be a shame if somebody were to be forced to decelerate at the next penalty line. There's the decel as suddenly as it came about. That's going to give 4th place to Preston Van Wee. And AJ will immediately have to go defensive to try and keep Jonas Itkinen away. It will not work. Whoa, Honeck? Honeck the Sedgehog. Connor Hannick very sideways. His team owner's right there behind him. Clearly a mistake on the brakes, possibly with a very frontward brake or rearward brake bias. It would make sense if that were the case, since it's probably not the easiest thing to get this thing to turn in. Now Kepley and Maher just duked it out on that straightaway. The Genesis will escape with 11th. That looked weird. A bit of grass for Itkinen, also a bit for Knickel, but not nearly as much. That's a half second for that. He went too far out, though. He may not have lost time going wide, but that's exactly what the game didn't like. Ridwan is escaping with the lead with some ease, not nearly as easily as he had it in the last race, but he's not exactly in danger either. And Boryoshi is on his way to give his assailant Stefan Robichaud some company to keep him honest, and in case he was thinking of trying to catch up to his team owner up there, prevent him from doing that. Or maybe his quest is to go up there and do it himself, which is probably the more likely answer, but I digress. Oh, neck is sore now. I am really falling apart at the seams, ladies and gentlemen. AJ got ahead of Itkinen despite everything, without even needing to wait for the penalty to slow him down. It isn't much in that part of the track, but it's enough to lose him the spot to Jackson Altman in the Jag. The Jag. Oh, he's gotten ahead of him. I don't know how in the world I missed that. That's a whoopsie. They're both kicking up some dirt as they head up the hill. Oh, come on, Neck. Get it together. We have about reached the halfway mark of the race. See how Itkinen fares trying to get back ahead of the Wendy's Jag. Just such a weird combo of manufacturer and sponsor. Just hilarious to me. I just can't lie. A Jaguar sponsored by Wendy's. It's just so weird. Oh, you look at the Scirocco go. Altman tries to break the toe. Jonas is in no rush to claim it. No rush to follow him. He's not even trying to pass this juncture, I don't think. That's probably the reason why. He doesn't have to be. Altman's going to nearly botch the exit of turn 1, and he's going to sweep on past anyway. Altman is clearly understeering. I can tell he just hit his lights. Either that or he once again believes that Itkunen has wronged him in some way as he takes advantage of him missing a turn. Robichaud is still in pursuit of the 41 car. Or thereabouts, anyhow. Yeah, longer laps generally tend to allow the skill deficit between drivers to shine more, and that's how we end up with races that are so high octane on the shorter layouts, and then we get to the longer layouts, and well, the first handful of laps were exciting, but everybody's just kind of settled into their places now, and overtakes are getting pretty hard to come by when a lot of people are just kind of in line and not getting super aggressive just yet. We might see that change. We're definitely seeing that change with Oxtaconis there, who just did a little bit of digging to try and get back up to Connor Hannick and attack for P9. Ridwan's got a half second. That's not what I expected. Or who I expected, perhaps I should say. I don't think that'll really have much of an effect on the race. He's just going to lose, you know, a little bit of time, but it's not like Yoshi's going to put him under threat for that. He'll close to within a second off of this, but he's not going to be, you know, contesting him for the position. At least not right now, unless he does it again, which would be admittedly, honestly, kind of funny. He has dipped a toe in the grass again, as has his teammate. There's the D-cell, 8 tenths, 7 tenths, 6 tenths. It'll be down to about 5.5 tenths between the two. So it's closed things up, but it's not exactly shifted the landscape of the race. Still time, I suppose. We've got 8 laps to go. And Robichaud is not out of range either. If these two begin to fight, if they don't do any kind of team orders, they may open themselves up to a threat from this Genesis back here. Oh, now this is really getting close here. Something happened. Altman has lost the place to Luke Allen, and I guess in the chaos, Oxtaconis and Hannick have also gotten closer. I think actually Hannick had been overtaken by AJ Oxtaconis, and now Altman's going to try and overtake Luke Allen, heading down the back straightaway. Luke Allen darting from side to side to try and keep that Jaguar at bay, and he will do so for the time being. Got kind of couples battles here. Altman now blinking the lights, I think, to try and force Luke Allen to be distracted in error. I missed so many words right there, you do not understand. Trying to distract Luke and force him into an error. He almost got alongside there, but the Evo's acceleration got away for a moment, but that Evo is struggling on the top end, and that Jaguar probably knows it. But the Genesis is even better on the top end than both of them by the looks of things, and it's going to be probably Oxtaconis who's going to go hunting here. Altman has to defend. He can't attack. He's got to defend from the 3. Around the outside, can he stay out of the sand long enough to finish that pass? No. He cannot, and now Connor Hannick is sniffing down his inside to try and take a 9th back from him. But nothing doing there. Meanwhile, that's close. Down the inside, the 06 is going to have a peek on the 41. That is all he will have, though. Crossover attack not administered. He actually goes wide himself. Ridwan with another half-second pen, though. That one might just cost him if he's not quick here in this sector of the lap. He is very quick though, but he's pushing the car to try and get that safe distance away from his teammate. He's kicking up as much grass as humanly possible. There's the decel. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I think it's his bigger threat's going to be not his teammate Robichaud with a really good run from the hairpin. Oh, late move. Yoshi's forced onto whatever lane he can find, and Ridwan is going to stave off the attack. Where in the world did AJ Knickel go? What happened to you? Oh my lord, that car is battered. This battle continues to rage on. Luke Allen up to 6th now. Jackson Allman's just been mugged by these four-wheel drive vehicles. He's struggling to even keep Connor Hannock away at the moment. No obvious signs of foul play though. AJ's got some time. He's going to have to really get on his horse and ride if he's going to get back even into the top 10, let alone try and join this 4-car feud. Oh boy! Oh, excuse me. They make big contact at the apex. That allows Altman to literally just slide on through on Oxtacolnist, probably on Luke Allen, as that Mitsubishi's top end is getting exposed right here. Can Luke send it under brakes? He can. He stays alongside. Evo with the short-range acceleration benefits. Here comes the Genesis. Oxtacolnist really wants to make this 3 wide, but he is going to get pinched out of contesting that. Suddenly, Darius in the Mustang looks poised to join this fight as we come into 4 to go. And Altman runs Oxtacolnist completely out of race circuit. He's super sideways. Oxtacolnist is taking a woodland adventure over there. I don't think the Genesis driver is going to be particularly pleased with that. And Connor Hannock heroically finds himself in P7 by simply watching and not getting involved. 6-7 for CL7. And Darius in the Mustang going to try and go the long way around on Jackson Altman. Reminder, this guy finished 14th in the first round, and he's suddenly poised to finish top half here if he should play his cards well. Oxtacolnist with a penalty despite being forced way out of line by Altman and some understeer. His alliance member AJ Knickel is joining the party finally, and it's critical timing for him. He's not out of time, but he's running low. He's going to tail whip his alliance member a little bit, but nothing really egregious per se. What's going on up here? They are equal distant. Alright. Back to the mid-pack, because this is absolute chaos. At some point, Darius got clear of Altman, but that's not a good exit from that hairpin for him, and Altman knows it. Very bad bump over that curb. He blinks the lights again, trying to distract Darius. But he's got much bigger problems sitting in his rearview mirror. Nearly make contact. That is all of the grass. Darius is completely out of shape. And he's not going to get punished for it. AJ is the one who walks away from that with a half second. Nobody else. That is the craziest work there. They're going to spread out 3 wide into the hairpin. Darius breaks late enough to survive. Nothing ultimately doing, but that was certainly a set piece and a half. How about up here? Preston under threat from Itkinen. He's going to hang on to it for 2.5 more laps. And Robichaud is still stalking Boryoshi, but he's not been an immediate threat just yet. CL7 look relatively comfortable in their current position, but Darius is getting there. Now that he is free from everything else going on, Jackson Allman has to contest with AJ Knickel. For now, although that half-second penalty is going to probably knock him out of contention for anything better than 10th, unless drastic things occur, which, by the looks of things, really can't discount that possibility. Here we go. Aikkonen has a chance on Preston. Preston forcing him to the left a little bit, but ultimately I think that's more or less just a formality. Late on the brakes goes the 3 to try to salvage but Ykkönen cannot be stopped in at this juncture. Now it's Darius with the half second. 2 to go. Connor is trying to bump draft his teammate clear of the traffic behind. Many shredded right front tires in this section of the grid. Even AJ's has seen some action. And we don't even talk about Oxtaconis's either. Connor not being a full-time car, neither is Luke for that matter. But Connor even more so, not a full-timer. I wonder if he's keen to just kind of obstruct, help Luke Allen escape. Or if I'm overthinking it, and maybe Hannick has just been told to just kind of drive how he's going to drive and see what happens from here. A lot of different ways to attack this, but the fact that he was kind of in the middle of the track there tells me he's kind of thinking defense. And Darius is about to defend himself as the penalty is going to come through and knock him out of contention for 6th place, potentially. What does Knickel see as he comes upon this absolute pandemonium? He's going to try and force the inside on the Mustang. Darius leaves him the space required. And the Lancers are safe. At the front of the field, Yoshi is the one now attacking Ridwan. He has escaped his handler in the form of Robichaud, and he's got basically a handful more turns to try and get to Ridwan. I don't think it's going to happen, though. It's quite a distance to cover. Van Wee has tried to hang on to the back of Ykkönen, but it is a fool's errand for him. Oh yeah, with those lines, Hannick is definitely thinking protect. And AJ is going to shoot around the outside of the Wendy's car. I just noticed that the last second that he got that move done. He himself is darn near pushing Hannick down the straightaway. He's going to send it, he's going to... No, that is way too much, AJ Knickel. That is ugly. 2 admins come together at the hairpin, and the beneficiary is Darius in the Mustang. That was uncharacteristically ugly. Ridwan is your winner. A 1-2 for FR, followed by Robichaud. Ykkönen 4th, smacking his teammate post-race. Van Wee 5th. Darius in the Mustang, who finished 14th in the sprint, brings her home in P6 for wildcard, and oh, was it wild. Connor Hannick has to outdrag the Jaguar. He will be 7th. Altman 8th. Luke Allen headbutts the wall prematurely. He's going to lose 2 places for that, but... And even his AI is ticked off. He's going to smack Maher, smack his assailant's teammate. Kevin Kepley 13th, Ravi Ganesh 14th, and Logan Cool with the right front tire that's seen some better days will once again round out the running order. Nani? Kansei Drifto! Maybe that's why the tire is shredded. He's just been screwing around on this last lap or two since he sees that his next car is 28 seconds up the road. While Logan Cool skitters around on the track trying to come up to the start-finish line. Time now to show our thanks to ARC's 2 main sponsors, to our title sponsor, DIVEBOMB, which Luke Allen has absolutely embodied today. No, wait. I'm dumb. I'm victim blaming. AJ Knickel has absolutely embodied today. Excuse me. Luke Allen has been the victim of our title sponsor, who doesn't usually do that, but instead is a media platform for motorsports news across most major social media sites. And to the Racing Rats, our major partner in Assetto Corsa mods, to keep our series over on Assetto Corsa running smoothly, with free high-quality mods and updates for those mods wherever needed. But that is it for me. I'm going to go be a fly on the wall on whatever conversation AJ and Luke are about to have post-race. That is going to be something I want the popcorn for. But until next time, at the penultimate round of Laguna Seca. Goodbye.